Hello guys, it's me Shuri with a little update on the camera. The camera I made long time ago is still being troubleshooted by people who mostly try to use the parallax feature. In Alan Becker's animations we had to use the parallax quite a lot, and after a lot of trial and error, we figured out that there is a much better way to make parallax in Adobe Animate. The problem was that Alan Becker paid me hourly for developing this camera, therefore making it public did not feel right. But the more people came to me troubleshooting the parallax-related features of my old camera, the more I felt bad about it. Eventually, I asked Alan if I can share the camera and the tutorial for the camera that we use in the episodes, and he gave me the permission to open this camera to the public. So the rest of this video is a tutorial on how to use the parallax. It was made for Alan Becker's animation team, but I feel it's going to fulfill its purpose for the wider animators audience. Keep in mind that other features like binding, shaking, 3D tracking does not work in this version of the camera, so if you specifically need a parallax, this camera is for you. The link to the camera is in the description. Alright, now the tutorial part.
Hello people, I'm Shuriken255 and this is the full guide on how to use parallax-like features that I have created for Alan Becker's animations. First of all, let me explain to you how my scripts understand 2D symbols as 3D objects, so you can understand how my parallax scripts work. So first of all, let's draw a blue rectangle that is going to represent the stage. The stage is a plane that contains almost all animation elements like stick figures, mobs, or the parts of the background that are not affected by the parallax. Usually we control which part of the screen will be visible at the moment by controlling the virtual camera symbol. I'm going to use black color to represent the camera. The area of the stage that is being rendered into final animation is called the projection area. I'm going to use the green color to represent it. Let's call the current view on the stage a front view and then switch to look from above. Now you can see that the stage and the projection area have turned into lines because they are flat and the camera has turned into the triangle. To be honest, calling the camera a triangle in our case will be wrong. It is actually a point with two beams that have a fixed angle between each other. The intersection of these beams with the stage plane determines the projection area. If we shrink the camera on the front view, the script sees it as if the camera moved closer to the stage, shrinking the projection area. If you scale it up, the script understands it as if the camera moves away from the stage, expanding the projection area. Hopefully it gives you an idea on how the script understands the camera positioning. Now, when we understood the concept of the camera and the stage, let's add another flat plane that is going to be further away from the stage. The value that determines how far the other plane is from the stage is called the depth. Depending on the depth value, the parallax symbol is going to be projected to the screen differently. The deeper the plane is from the stage, the less it's going to move on the projection. To set the parallax's position on the stage, the camera reference is used. It is shown as red so you can tell it apart from the normal camera. When you set your camera reference and the parallax symbol to the stage, you show its projection on the stage when the camera hits the exact same position as the camera reference. The problem here is we don't know the depth of the parallax symbol we placed. It may be very large and very far away, or it may be very small and be in the front of the stage. So in order for the script to be able to calculate the parallax's 3D position, you will have to determine its depth inside the symbol that contains it. So now when you hopefully understand how the parallax works, let me introduce you to the scripts. First of all, with the new parallax comes the new camera. If you want to use parallax from the newest file, make sure that you use the camera from the same file you got the parallax from. The new parallax related scripts will not work otherwise. So now you have a new camera and you would like to apply parallax to something. Let's grab these mountains and convert them into a movie clip. Now you take this movie clip and you convert it into another movie clip. I will explain why later in this tutorial. Now we go inside the outer movie clip and add parallax script measure and parallax script symbols in there. By the look of the parallax script measure, you might already guess that this is the top view of the camera looking at the stage. Then we grab the parallax script symbol and adjust it according to the measure to set the depth of the movie clip. If you place it below the thin line, it is going to appear closer than the main plane, and if you place it above, it is going to appear further from the main plane. Placing it on the thin line will make it be on the same plane as the stage, making the effect of the script useless. As for now, let's put it behind the stage. Remember that parallax script measure and parallax script symbols must be in the outer movie clip, not the inner one that currently contains the mountains. Now we need to place the camera reference for the parallax symbols to work. I have already told you how my scripts assign the position of the parallax symbol, but let me show you it visually on this stage so you can have a better idea on how it works. Let's draw a silhouette of the mountains on this stage without applying any parallax to it. When we export the Swift file, we can see that when the camera reaches the position of the camera reference, the silhouette of the mountains we drew on this stage is now matching the mountains that have the parallax effect. If we go to the mountain symbol and change its depth to be in front of the stage, the same rule is going to apply, but the mountains are going to look very tiny and much closer to the screen than they were before because the depth value is now negative. You can move the reference camera or the parallax symbol on the run when you need to readjust the parallax's 3D position. I made it so you can cheat on the camera cut so you can reuse the same medium parallax image instead of making a very large one when you have a very wide shot. So this is how you use the parallax scripts, yet it has more features to offer. One of them is called horizontal parallax. This is a symbol that keeps a certain line of the parallax symbol on a certain level after the transformations. It is made because sometimes you want some parallax elements to be aligned with the other elements horizontally, and the cost of it may be very drastic. The parallax looks very wrong if you move the camera up and down too much, or if you zoom in or out while the snapping level of horizontal parallax is far away from the center of the camera. It is a very conditional feature, but it may be required for some certain scenes. Another new parallax-like script is called attach to camera. If you want to create a parallax that is so far away that it needs to be completely attached to the camera, this one makes it very easy to do. Just simply drag it on the stage, convert it into movie clip, enter it, and draw or animate what you want to be attached to the camera. The size of the symbol is going to guide you where the edges of the camera will be. It can be used for very far elements like the sun in AVMS24, or if you just want to attach something to the camera like the dialog box in Animation vs. Pokemon. The other feature the new parallax provides is the movement direction. If you have the scene where you imitate the constant scene movement towards some certain direction while main objects are staying in the focus, you can just add the symbol and all parallax symbols are going to go the opposite direction, contributing to the effect of movement. The further the objects are from the camera, the slower they are going to move due to perspective. To be able to calculate the right movement speed, 10 pixels of movement symbol width equals 1 pixel of the stage movement per frame. If you want to refresh the parallax symbols after their position were affected by the movement symbol, you can simply move the camera reference a tiny bit. Okay, we are done with the features. Now let's go through some restrictions and some additional information about using parallaxes. First, please keep the camera reference on this stage. Don't nest it inside the other symbols since the parallax script searches for the camera reference only on this stage, and I personally don't see any reason why in the world would you place the camera reference anywhere else. Just saying in case if you decide to do that for some reason. Second, the reason why you need to nest movie clip that contains the parallax image inside another movie clip is because of the ability to readjust the parallax by moving it on the timeline. If you edit movie clip's position using the script, its further animation on the timeline will be cancelled. We can go around this problem by nesting the parallax composition into another movie clip and move this movie clip inside the other one to match the final required position on the stage. Third, because scripts cancel the timeline's animations of the symbol they move, moving the inner movie clip on the timeline won't work. If you really want to, you can always nest the movie clip with the image into another movie clip and move it there instead, but I think the movement direction feature may satisfy your demands in most cases. Fourth, as I mentioned before, you can set the parallax symbol to be closer to the main plane of the animation. This may cause some symbols to disappear when the camera gets past them. The parallax symbol is going to tell you the frames when it happens, so you can fade in or fade out the parallax symbol to make it look better. 5. Nest all parts of the parallax symbol inside one movie clip, so the outer parallax symbol only contains the parallax script measure, and the movie clip that contains all parts of the parallax plane. The outer movie clip can also contain the parallax script horizontal symbol if it is required. 6. The comfortable way to set parallax symbols on this stage so their edges are not visible on the screen is determining how far the camera goes on the screen during the parallax symbol's existence. Scale the camera reference to cover that area, and stretch or parallax symbols to the edge of the camera reference. When you export the SWIFT file and look at the camera going left and right, you can see that the edges of the parallax symbols align perfectly to the edge of the camera when its edge is touching the bounds of the camera reference. If you scale the camera, it is still going to work the same way. You might want to have some extra space if you are going to rotate the camera on the edges of the camera reference, but I have seen Alan rotating the camera only once, so I don't think you should worry about it. That was it about the tutorials on parallaxes. I hope your brain did not melt from my explanations and you actually understood how these parallax scripts work and how to use them. Thank you for watching. I hope I was useful.